is good? It's your boy Ty back here with another video. In this video today, guys, we're going to be going over and talking about our awards for NBA 2K23 My Team. So, for each and every season, I do their individual awards. So if you want to go all the way back to season 1 and, watch that video for entertainment, you might see some cards in this video featured as well. But, just some things to think about. And as we dive into it, guys, really do appreciate all the recent support. You guys have been going crazy in the middle of August. So I really do appreciate that. From the Cheesiest to the, all Ami team. Couldn't do all Ruby team because there weren't even, any good Rubies. That's what this video is going to entail. We're going to start it off with our cheesiest card of NBA 2K23 My Team for its, respective time. Now, you could have Yao in here, Galaxy Opal. I put in obviously the endgame Wemby, Invincible Wemby right up there with them. Obviously, I put in the Hero Minute instead of the Invincible Minute, just because this Hero Minute from Season 6 all the way through Season 7 ran the game to the power forward position. Kind of the same thing with Pink Diamond Taco. He ran the game for quite some time. For me, it's Minute Bull. Like, if you liked it, I know he was super expensive, but if somehow you got Minute in Season 6, you had the best card in the game for about 2 months, which is absolutely crazy to think about. Next up, the Longevity Reward. You could throw that Minute in here as well. I mean, you really could. Pioneers TT, obviously, best primary ball handler in the game for a very, very, very long time. I think Radiant T-Mac, though, had a little more longevity. Now, to that kind of extent, there was nobody in the same, I guess you got Terry, but outside of Terry Dishinger, I don't think there was any other shooting guards that were comparable to T-Mac for so long. And then, obviously, you got Galaxy Opal Yao, who was the best center in the game for months. For me, it's Yao Ming. If you're the best center in the game for months on months, and probably the best and most important player as well, you win the Longevity Award. Next up, Defensive Player of the Year. Pink Diamond Kareem was our first center. I mean, obviously we had Wilt, but he was our center that people played for months, and he held it down defensively. I can't phrase that enough. You could run like a Sean Kemp. You could run another stretch big like KP, but Kareem just absolutely dogged them, and defensively was an absolute menace. Ami Giannis, I feel like people are so quick to forget about him, but he was really ran by a lot of people at the start of the game until, better and better power forwards came out. If you wanted defense, you ran the Ami Giannis. Offensively, again, was pretty limited. Then the Galaxy of Ben Simmons, our first tall point guard, obviously with those Juice Stellar pack odds. Point guard, what was he? 6'11", good frame. Obviously, his 3-ball wasn't not good, but offensively, guys, or defensively, I mean, he was an absolute issue. For me, it's Ben Simmons. When you get your first Ben Simmons, likely he's going to be your best defensive player of the entire year for a specific time. Best pre-250K card, which was early March. March 6th is when 250K was, or March 5th, one of those two dates. T-Mac, Radiant, absolutely elite. I mean, you probably saw more people run T-Mac than anybody else at that shooting guard position. I mean, again, he absolutely ran the game. All-Star Giannis, I mean, look, at the small forward position, was absolutely elite. People aren't going to gas him up that much because, okay, his release wasn't great, this and that. But trust me, this Giannis was absolutely elite. And then, obviously, Yao Ming. Look, Yao Ming was absolutely elite. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He was the best card when 250K was played. There was no answer to Yao Ming. No stopping Yao Ming because Taka wasn't even out. He was the man with the plan. Next award is our most overrated card of this year. We got Braun, Pink Diamond, Derrick Rose from the trophy case, and our first Galaxy Opal, which was Paul George, that everybody bought. Now, here's the deal with Paul George. I didn't like his release. I knew that, so I didn't buy him. But everybody was gassing Paul George when he really wasn't good. Derrick Rose, basically everybody chose Derrick Rose over Russell Westbrook and then immediately regretted it because he wasn't nearly as good or as valuable. I, for one, definitely regretted it as well. Nonetheless, everybody got Rose instead of Big Russ. That's why he is overrated. And then Invincible Braun. Everybody was waiting on a new LeBron James card. The Invincible Braun just was not great. Still didn't have a great release. Still lacked some things. He was fine, but just not good. For me, it's got to be Derrick Rose, though, because I'll always regret choosing him over Russell Westbrook. Always, always, always. Leads me to our most underrated card of this year. Now, you guys might be like, Scottie Pippen, everybody realized how good he is. How is he underrated? He's underrated because he was we didn't know he would be the only level 40. So think of him compared to other level 40s. That's why Scottie Pippen's underrated, right? He's our only, I would say, above average or only top 3 card at his position for a level 40 card all year long. And the fact that he was available with one of the best releases in the game was just absolutely elite. Then Pink Diamond Russell Westbrook, trophy case reward. Obviously, I could go on and on about him. He literally ran my team at the point guard position for quite some time. And then Dark Matter Terry, I personally underrated him. I said when he came out, he didn't compare to Trace McGrady. That was probably overstating a little bit. Terry Dishinger was actually really, really solid. Can't sit there and hate on the card. For me, it's got to be Scottie Pippen. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Next up, our best unlimited reward of this year. Now, for the first 4 seasons, it was basically just trophy case. So, season 5 and beyond, we got Alex English, Sean Livingston, and Big Artist Gilmore. I think this is a 2-horse race between Sean Livingston and both Artist Gilmore. And I think, honestly, between those two, you could make the case for either one of them. For me, it is Sean Livingston. 6'7", can get you a bucket, offensively really talented, and was one of the top point guards in the entire game. Next up, Rookie of the Year. You look at all the rookies we got this year. Wemby ran my team. So, it's between Endgame Wemby, Invincible Wemby, and the next Wemby. Obviously, next Wemby for budget ballers was really solid. But for Endgame's Invincibles, I personally like the Endgame Wemby more. A lot of people bought the Invincible outright. That's fine. Invincible Wemby is still absolutely elite in my team. Next up, our budget MVP. Pink Diamond, Jonathan Bender. You could have the Dark Matter Jonathan Bender. Both of them were absolutely elite for their specific times. And I think Jonathan Bender was relatively expensive for a while, but before his, he did crash a little bit. But again, absolutely elite for his time. Then you see Galaxy, Opal, KPJ, as well as Amy Wesley Person. Really, can't go wrong anyway. Wesley Person, KPJ, both kind of really good offensive players. For me, it's KPJ. Ran my Nobody Spent for quite some time, and I really did enjoy the card. Next up, our Mr. Inconsistent Award from NBA 2K23. My team, Galaxy Opal Danny Ferry. I should have liked this card, but I do believe he had the Carmelo Anthony upper, which I just could never get the hang of. I know it was me. I didn't even get Danny Ferry because I'm pretty sure that happened like right as the whole ban situation happened. And it was just kind of a bad situation in general. But is what it is. I didn't get him. I was inconsistent with him though. KD's endgame, I'm still to this day inconsistent with him. Some days I'll go out there and shoot 8 of 9 from 3. Other days it'll be 3 of 9. It's just pretty rough right now with KD. Then Galaxy Opal Ray Allen. There are times, especially I think I got him for my Nobody Spent, where you watch me and I was actually absolutely cooking people with Ray Allen. And then on the flip side of things, there's other times I couldn't hit a shot with him. For me, it's KD. KD will probably win that most inconsistent award every single year. Next up, most slept on card. Obviously, Russell Westbrook right away was so slept on. Obviously, now he's not. But again, right away, everybody was choosing Derrick Rose over him. And then we realized how good Russell Westbrook truly would be. Thurl Bailey, obviously Galaxy up with Thurl Bailey. If it wasn't for me, I feel like everybody would not really know about this card. I've been gassing Thurl Bailey until the end of time. Like, I literally am in love with Thurl. Great release, good movement, good height. He is still playable to this day. And last but certainly not least, Rudy Gobert. I might be the only person who used Rudy, but he's 7'1", could get some stops on Yao and at least compete on the defensive end of the court. It is Thurl Bailey as my winner of the most slept on card. Next up, our MVP. These are the top 3 cards in my opinion right now in my team. Wemby, Manu, Invincible, as well as Endgame. Yeah, can't go wrong either way. I do though believe, as you guys saw in my Season 8 video, Wemby takes the cake as the MVP of NBA 2K23 my team. Next up, our All-Amy team. I might have missed some players, so if I missed out on anybody, you guys can let me know down below in the comments. I'm going KPJ at the 1, Wesley Person at the 2, Poku at that 3, A Disney at the 4, Taco at the 5. This is your best AMI team that you can make right now. Minus some, maybe there's like a Season 7 AMI player. I'm not just going to throw them in there. I'm going to throw in AMIs people actually use for the most part. And these 4, or these 5, I should say, were definitely used. Next up, the All Diamond team. SGA at that 1, Fireworks Luol Deng at the 2, really solid defensively. Jaden at the 3, Zen Thorough at the 4 with Flash, Nicholas Claxton at that 5. Thought about plugging in Big Wang at the 5, but I do think Claxton was a little bit better. All Pink Diamond team, Oshman Jang at the 1, Al Horford at the 2, Xavier McDaniel at the 3, Tyke at the 4, Mirsan at the 5. We're going with hype, man. Like, if let's say I wanted to go out and compete in an unlimited game, this is the Pink Diamond team I would go out there with. Guys that I think can compete defensively. I think all 5 of these guys can compete defensively at their respective positions. That's how I came up with the pink diamond team. Next up, all opal team. Little more talent here. Hidu at the 1, Luo at that 2, Big Z at the 3. Throw Bailey at the 4 with Big Yao at the 5. Again, you guys might want to swap some players. I went with height for the most part and defense. Obviously, if you don't have Big Z and Yao in this lineup, I'm a little bit confused because those guys are shoo-ins at their respective positions. All dark matter team up next. Jokic at the 1, TT at the 2, Bull at the 3, Manute at the 4, Rick Smits at the 5. Basically an all hero team outside of Rick Smits. Now, if you wanted to plug in dark matter Yao instead of Rick Smits, I get it too. Or Hero Yao instead of Rick Smits, I get it. Hero Yao probably is better. But I did want some variation, as well as I did love Rick Smits, especially if, you know, you're talking on online versus MyTEAM Unlimited difficulty. I'd probably lean Rick Smits. All invincible team up next. I hated the point guard position. I went with Lamar Odom, although I don't love him. TT at the 2, Wemby at the 3, Manute at the 4, Mark Eaton at the 5. Interesting, we didn't get like an invincible Yao at all this year. I was kind of shocked to, or Taco, to go and see that. Obviously, again, I don't love Lamar, so Tim Thomas and Wemby would have to probably carry the majority of the offense, as well as Manute Bol. Last award today, or last thing we're going through, is our all endgame team. This is all preference based. If you want Giannis, Bron, or even like Ben Simmons at the 1, I don't care. Same thing with the 2. You want to plug in KD, I'm not going to sit here and hate it. I went with PG at the 2, Wemby at the 3, Taco at the 4, Yao at the 5. Could have had Sean Bradley in there as well if you did want to. But these are the 5 that I went with for the all endgame team. That is going to wrap it up for our award video for NBA 2K23 My Team. Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments, guys. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new. As always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.